Hello everybody, hope you guys are all enjoying your day. Today we're going to be looking at your weekend winter storm here that's going to be impacting parts of the Midwest and then through into parts of the interior Northeast, where you could be impacted with some areas exceeding 3 to 6 inches of snowfall, locally higher amounts there. So we are going to be talking about that. We're going to be going over the European model forecast, and then we're going to be looking at my personal forecast that I hand drawn, and this is updated from what I showed yesterday. So if you want, you can go see what I was looking at yesterday, and then you could kind of compare that to what I'm showing today. Now we're gonna start off here with the National Weather Service. We have winter weather advisories. We have one big area here that's over parts of anywhere from Nebraska, a little bit of Iowa into most of Missouri, Illinois, and then into Kansas, and even a little bit of Arkansas and Oklahoma there. And then we also have another area here for northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin, as well as another area for the Appalachians and parts of Virginia and North Carolina. Now we also have some flood watches and avalanche warnings in effect for parts of western Oregon and as well as western Washington state. Now, before we do get into all this forecasting, now let's look at something. Let's look at the past. Let's look at what happened within the last 72 hours as far as snowfall. Now, this is NOAA's. This is their snowfall analysis. So they go through many different areas over the country. They have many different sighting spots, and they kind of put them together and they make this map every 6 hours or so. So this is the past 72 hours. So this will be going really from the 20th all the way until today. So you're seeing here's your legend at the bottom here, and you see we generally have a 1 to 3 inch snowfall here, and then areas where you saw a little bit of banding, which I did also say could happen over southern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin, saw 46, maybe even some areas reaching 6 inches and maybe even a little bit more. You also see we have quite a bit of snowfall here out in the west, but that's primarily mountain snowfall. Now let's get into your surface analysis map here from the National Weather Service or the Weather Prediction Center here, and they put this out every 3 hours here. And we have this low pressure that's currently over parts of northwestern Missouri. We also have that Gulf low pressure system actually formed today. And I think something that you're going to notice from yesterday, the models have drastically changed. Now they're showing your snowfall only reaching into the northernmost parts of the Northeast. Yesterday, they were kind of showing snow even into Boston. They were showing a little bit of snow into New England and into central and northern New England, and then even into most of Pennsylvania, and then down through the Appalachians, and of course back through the Midwest. So now they've drastically changed north, and I think what I'm theorizing here is that we were expecting this low pressure system to form really as right around Mississippi, and as well we were expecting this to form tomorrow. So this low pressure system is gonna this southern low pressure system, as it pulls in that moisture, is gonna kind of overtake this energy, and that's gonna force this system right around here in northwest, or currently in northwest Missouri. That's going to force this system to kind of move along with this and turn straight to the northeast. And that's why I think it's usually if we didn't have this low pressure system at the Gulf and it wasn't pulling it further to the north, you wouldn't have this system. You would have had this system kind of going a little bit more straight. But now we have this other component of this Gulf low pressure system, and now it's going to track something a little bit further to the north and west. And I think that's why the models have tracked a little bit further north. So I was kind of analyzing the models earlier, and that's what I kind of come to the conclusion of. Also, we do have this high pressure out here, but this is going to move out further to the east, so this shouldn't impact the storm too much. Now, this is going to be a weak system, so nothing really too substantial here. Now, here's the European model forecast, and we're going to be going every 6 hours here. So here, going into your early morning on Friday, you're starting to see the snow break out over parts of northern Missouri and Illinois. We also have some scattered snow showers through much of the upper Midwest. Now, as we continue this, you're starting to see a little bit heavier bands, and then parts of the southern Great Lakes are actually switching over to rain, according to the European model by this point. Now, you have the snowfall on the northwestern side. Your low pressure system by this point would be somewhere right around in here. and it's eventually going to get picked up and kind of go northward by this Gulf low pressure system. Now, as we continue, that would be Friday night and into Saturday morning. You're starting to see that wraparound snowfall. Now your low pressure system would be right around Ohio and that area. So that's where your low pressure system would be. And you see on the northwest side, you're seeing your snowfall kind of move further to the north and west of this system. Now, let's continue this, and you see we have your snowfall starting to move into the northeast. Now, this would be for your Saturday night, and now getting into your Sunday, you see only higher elevation snows for parts of the northeast, and even if you're very far northward, you're seeing rainfall as far north as Syracuse, New York. So it's very warm, and it's a very warm based system. You're having this low pressure somewhere right around Lake Ontario, and you're seeing this warm front, something like this. You're having your warm air, or actually I'll do it in red here. You have your warm air getting pushed everywhere to the east of this and to the south of this. You're seeing your warm air, and that's going to be creating your rain for much of the northeast here. So let's continue this. This would be by Sunday early morning. Now getting to your Sunday morning, your daytime hours really, and you see it's rain all the way up into the Canada border. So very warm with this system. And now getting into Monday, you just have some lake effect snow showers for those areas. Now let's get into your snowfall, your predicted snowfall, and you see we have quite a bit here over the Midwest, but as you get into the Northeast, it's really very far to the north, almost suppressed to the Canadian border, and even those areas are going to pick up a little bit of rainfall, maybe 2/10 of an inch to half an inch of rainfall out of this event. So it is going to be a very warm system, and we will have to account for that in our snowfall forecast, which I'll show you right now. Now, here is my snowfall forecast, and we're going to be going over your storm track as well as your snowfall and rainfall out of this system. Now, also something I want to note is there's actually a couple of reports of some snowfall in Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. So that's pretty interesting, and those were this morning and later last night. So that's very interesting. That's goes to show you this Arctic air mass, and right now that high pressure would be right around here, but that was digging south, and that brought in that cold air, and that kind of brought in some of the snow for parts of Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas. Some of that was from this Arctic high pressure system that was still out over parts of the Midwest. So that's why you did see snowfall there, and you also saw temperatures were in the 30s, low 30s in these areas. So I definitely could believe that there was some snowfall in those areas. So very peculiar weather and very cold weather that we're seeing over many of these areas. Now, this is going to be a storm that's spanning from the 23rd through the 27th here, and this would be from today all the way until basically Sunday night into your Monday. Now, let's get into your storm track forecast. This lighter pink, or this darker pink, I mean, over here, this is your main storm system, and this is your primary track, and this is your low pressure. It's right over northwest Missouri. Here's your secondary low pressure, and this is really what's going to be steering this further to the north and to the west, and that's really going to be a big factor in how the system is going to play out. Now, let's start adding your layers here. Now, we're going to start off with your snowfall. You have a coating in this light blue here, almost a white, kind of a dark white here, and you're starting to see that over parts of the Midwest, Great Lakes, and into parts of the Appalachians and the northernmost parts of the Northeast. So northern New England and even into parts of northern upstate New York, you could get a coating at least. Now, here's your 1 to 3 inch layer, and this is going to be over parts anywhere from about Kansas and Nebraska, northeastward into Missouri, Iowa, and Minnesota, through Wisconsin, into Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then through the Northeast and into West Virginia, even western Maryland here, and into much of western Pennsylvania, through northern upstate New York and northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Now, here is your 3 to 6 inch layer, and you see I'm not even going to put a 6 to 12 inch layer. It's just a very weak system, and you're really not going to see that out of this system. So you have this 36 inch layer, and this is going to be right in the bullseye area of this system, and that's going to be for Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin, as well as parts of northern upstate New York and into northern Vermont, really the Adirondacks region, where it's a higher elevation in this area. So this is is really mountainous regions right here that are seeing 3 to 6 inches. So it's a very weak system, and you're not going to be seeing a lot out of this system. You will be seeing a little bit more on the side of rainfall out of this system, under an inch anywhere here. So basically, this is all the areas that are seeing any form of rainfall here, and it's going to be really from Texas and Oklahoma eastward. You're going to be seeing this under an inch layer in this lightest green. Now, here's your 1 to 2 inch area in this darker shade of green over parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, parts of the Panhandle, Florida, and through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and then up through Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and into parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, parts of southern upstate New York, and into much of southern New England. You're seeing a 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, and we even have a 2 to 3 inch area where you have a little bit of increased lift because you do have the mountains there, the Appalachian Mountains, and even parts in West Virginia and westernmost Virginia will see this because this is your snows overlaid on top of this, and these areas will still see quite a bit of snowfall quite a bit of rainfall. So much of that snow will actually melt or kind of get washed away here, where you see 2 to 3 inches of rainfall could be expected and are expected over these areas within the next about 4 days. So very impactful system, but it's also a weak system. It's just a very broad system. That's why it's so impactful here. And really, I think there could be a couple areas that exceed 6 inches, but not too many. It'll be very isolated areas, it looks like, or really where those banding sets up. And you could get a little bit more as you get that lake effect on Monday, but that's not what I'm forecasting. I'm just forecasting for this next winter storm, and I don't even think the storm is going to get named. If it were to get named, it would be Winter Storm Cade, but I don't even think this is going to get named. It's a very weak system, and it really, I don't think, should be named because it is very weak, and it's not. Even the areas that are getting impacted with 3 to 6 inches, and in the northern northeast, that's really a very isolated location, and it's not really too big of an impact for those areas. Those areas should be getting that much snowfall by this point. So I just don't think it's going to get named, and it's not too big of a system. So just be careful out there. It's going to be more of a nuisance snowfall and nothing too big. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up the video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, turning on notifications, and that is going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching the video. I was Eli with Grind, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.